People respect him.
Mr. Horn is definitely a gentleman.
Mr. Horn is faithful, loyal to the end.
I became a teacher because I wanted to be someone like Mr. Horn.
He is the funniest man you'll ever meet.
He is one of the greatest men on earth.
Mr. Horn is important, and he's an integral member of our community.
He's my mentor. I always say that when I grow up, I want to be like Mr. Horn. That's what I want to do.
And I first knew Francis Horn when he was a St. Cecilia parent. His daughter Elizabeth was one of my students here. And the next occasion I had to meet Francis, he was applying for a job here to teach. I hired him for the duration.
He decided to go into teaching. It was a bit of a surprise to us. He'd always been in retail and working a business job, and it sort of came out that this is what he wanted to do. Not often that I think people get to have a second career they enjoy.
I believed with my whole heart that he was the person for this position, and so we shook hands, and that was the beginning.
I always call him the best friend a St. Cecilia student ever had, and which is what he is. I mean, he goes to their sporting events, he acts in their plays with them, he goes to their musical events.
I'd wanted to take a class with Mr. Horn because I'd heard that he was so wonderful. And so I signed up for US AP History. When you walk in and you sit down, you never quite know what you're going to get. And the only way I could describe it is that he's one of those it teachers.
For our younger students, they have not necessarily had Mr. Horn as a teacher. And yet, they know, even from when they walk in the door as freshmen, this man is important. This man pays attention to me. Mr. Horn says hello to me in the hallways. He sees me at my games. He gives me a high five, even if I'm not in his class.
He taught every individual in that class, and he knew every girl in that class. And he believed in the potential she had to succeed.
You can come into a classroom and the students don't really care how much you know about the subject you teach until they know how much you care about them. And when they know you care about them, then they'll open themselves up and they'll learn. Well, Mr. Horn is caring with a capital C.
You walk on this campus, you're one of Mr. Horn's girls. He knows who you are, he knows what's going on in your world, he knows what sport you play, he knows if you're a part of the art club, he knows when you need that pat on the back.
Now that I'm teaching here at St. Cecilia, and I have a freshman here at St. Cecilia, I tried to tell my daughter, all right, so you're gonna meet this man, Mr. Horn, and he's the legend at St. Cecilia. And you might not have him for a teacher yet, but you will know who he is. And sure enough, that first week of school, she came home and she said, Mom, I know who Mr. Horn is. He high-fived me down the hallways.
Oh, his high fives, he loves high fives to everybody. And then they really asked him why he gives so many of the girls high fives. I think it's just a way for him to reach out and really make another way to connect with the girls and with coaches and teachers. I mean, he high fives everybody.
Whenever we pass Mr. Horn in the hallways, he's always got his hand out, and even when he has stuff in his hands, he'll have a bag and some books. He'll switch arms just so he can high five you when you're passing him in the hallway.
The high five, as simple as it may seem, is integral to their, who knows, maybe even their self-esteem that day.
Mr. Horn may claim he is getting older. I think Mr. Horn is always strong, and we laugh about it. He gives girls high fives in the hallway, and sometimes girls walk by, even adults, and say, ouch, that hurt my hand, there's still a sting. But they love it. They keep going for more.
It's a compliment, isn't it, to walk down there and Mr. Horn puts his hand up there to give you a high five. It's like getting a star on your chest. I like that.
I think one of the greatest things about my father being a part of St. Cecilia and teaching here has been the opportunity for him to be in the plays and in the musicals.
I think his love for and involvement in St. Cecilia Fine Arts over the years demonstrates, first of all, that he's a team player, that he's willing to be an extra in To Kill a Mockingbird, that he is willing to be the cop on the street for 42nd Street. But also, too, that he supports the girls in all of their endeavors.
I just said one time, would you like to do this role, this small role for us in this play? And he said yes. And he's never said no to me. I guess he likes being in theater.
He always gives 100% in what he does, even if he has no line, even if he has one line. And I think everyone it's a little teaser. Everyone waits to see, what's Mr. Horn's part going to be in the play? When is he going to come out, and what's his costume going to be? It's, he's a little bit of a rock star.
If you need to pick somebody who can come out and do it well and do it right, Mrs. Stamps knows that he'd be the perfect person for whatever she needs him to do, because she knows he'll do it the best he can, and his best is the best.
When Mr. Horn comes out on the stage, and he usually has just a small role. He plays the judge at the wedding at this and Sound of Music. It's a small role, but the place just it's like an acting. The Oscar-winning actor just came on. They give him applause and stop the show for a second while he's there.
He's also played Mr. Cunningham in To Kill a Mockingbird twice, and that was a role made for him because he's just an everyday guy, a farmer trying to get by in life. And it's in the South, and of course he has the perfect Southern accent, so that's been one of the great ones that I can remember.
When he's in the play, he gets to show a different side of himself. And he's also saying that he's willing to participate in the life of the school.
I think that one of his biggest qualities is his presence. I mean, he's always there, soccer game, a lacrosse game, or basketball, volleyball, you can always count on him to be there. And so that's one of the neatest things about him, is just his dedication to the school. And if I could emulate anything, it's to be half as dedicated as he is.
We all try to make events, and we usually hit one of everything, but Francis seems to be able to come to all of everything, which is pretty amazing.
His most basic role was as a supporter, and to encourage, and to be there, and to be present, and to understand the role that the very formative role that athletics could have for a young woman.
First time I saw Mr. Horn was at a basketball game when my daughter was a freshman. She was on the freshman team. And I saw him sitting on the sideline. He always sits on the bench on the far end away from the coach on the bench. And I asked her after the game, who's that old man sitting on the bench? And she told me about Mr. Horn, that he's kind of a legend around here. He's been here forever.
Old school. Mr. Horn is very old school. Fundamentals, got to know the fundamentals. Respect. Everything was done with respect. He had a great way of complimenting you to where you knew what you did was wrong, but you turned around and did it better the next time.
On the field, Mr. Horn has always taught us to stay strong, and before every game, we'll always pray, and he'll chip in with those prayers as well. You can hear him yelling throughout the game, and just those quick reminders help you play better.
He wants to win, there's no doubt about it. But at the same time, I think that he wants the girls to know how to love the game. And I think that's really what it's about. He has that mentality of the love of the game, and he wants the girls to have that, and the respect for the game.
My favorite line that he says is, we got a basketball game today, or we have a softball game today. Got to get my ankles taped, my knee pads on, my shoulder pads on, and the stuff under my face, because I'll be ready to go.
He's not one to beat around the bush. He'll tell you when you need to get your glove in the dirt, when you need to get the bat on the ball, and he'll tell you exactly how to do it, and you can always count on him on the softball field to really show you the right way to play the game.
Everybody wants to be liked, and I love the athletics here at St. Cecilia, and to see a man like that that's for the most part dedicated his professional career to one institution and meant so much to that institution. I mean, who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want that to be their legacy? So yeah, I wouldn't mind being Mr. Horn when I grow up someday.
He's there at our basketball games when we win by 40 or when we lose by 40, and he's right there supporting everybody along the way. And that's what I think a girl needs more than anything, is just to know that she's loved no matter what, and that's what he does.
I would like future Scarabs to know that he is one of the greatest men on earth.
I think Mr. Horn loves that he is a mentor, that he teaches people not only how to be in a classroom, and it's molding them as their person.
One of Francis' other strengths is definitely his faith and love for St. Cecilia. I mean, there's no one that cares more about this school and about the students that are here than Francis.
What you learn here lasts your whole life. And it makes a difference in the quality of your own life and the people around you. And I think that that's Francis Horn's greatest legacy.
You know, he's a team player. I mean, Mr. Horn is all in. I think anything the girls ask him to do, he would do.
I love the fact that he is always all in. He's so positive, and I think we could all learn a lot from that.
So much about the girls and about their experience to him, and how can he help them succeed in life.
He has always just had a special place in his heart. He just loves St. Cecilia, and he loves these girls.
He said, SCA girls have a way of getting a hold of your heart. And I think that's what keeps him here.
It's amazing to be able to go onto a softball field and know that you have somebody who's going to be there for you every day, regardless of how you played the day before.
I think the life of Christian holiness is just attending to the ordinary events of every day with great love and attention. And I think that is what Francis Horn does.
You know, his wife passed away many years ago, and he still wears that wedding ring, and I think that's just a microcosm of what he's really all about, that he's going to remain true to her and true to us at St. Cecilia forever.
Girls will come back after being gone for 2 or 3 years or 10 or 15 years, and they always, you know, make a beeline straight for his office. You know, they want to go say hi and shake his hand, give him a high five, and that lasting impression is something that you don't find every day.
Nobody's going to forget him, ever. And, you know, late in their lives, they're going to remember him, which is, and remember him with tears in their eyes and smile on their face, and remember how much he loved them.
Well, I'd say thank you for being who you are, and let me be your friend for all these years. Big hug. High five.